While letting the sauce simmer, we're going to do the second part of our recipe, and that is to actually make the pasta sheets. Now Mike is just going to give you a little introduction to the ingredients. Firstly, we have
flour, and you need exactly 1 cup of it.
Then we have
milk, which you also need 1 cup of.
Thirdly, we have
eggs, which you need 2 of them.
A delicious bottle of
olive oil, which you need 1 tablespoon of.
And lastly,
but not leastly, you need 1/2 teaspoon of salt.
The first thing that we're going to have to do is add the dry ingredients. Of course. Here we have our 1 cup of flour and our teaspoon of salt. Now, it's really vital to mix these first before you add the other wet ingredients. And now that these are pretty well mixed, I'm going to have Mike add the wet ingredients.
I think I'll add the 2 eggs first. That's 1. And there's 2. The rest of the wet ingredients. This is just about a tablespoon of olive oil. It's good. It's good.
Perfect. Great.
And then we'll add, this is only 1/2 cup of milk.
And I'll explain why that's important a little bit later.
Now Zach will whisk that.
Perfect. Okay, now with all the ingredients in here, I'm just going to, again, as just Mike just said, give this a quick whisk. Now, it's going to look pretty wet, and just keep mixing and it'll eventually come together pretty well. It should look rather yellow. Now, just make sure you have the right size bowl for this, because you don't want this spilling all over the sides. It should really just look like whenever you make pancakes, just like that batter. This is another 1/2 cup of milk. This is just
you need to add it after you have mixed the other ingredients.
This is vital to this recipe.
Now commence the mixing.
Yes, I will. Okay. Now, this might slosh around a little bit. Just let that work. Okay, this is just going to look like a very, very runny pancake mix. And this is exactly what it's supposed to look like.
Okay, the first step in making the pasta sheet is to cover the pan with Crisco.
Okay, that looks pretty good, Mike.
Yes, it does.
Now, a little good thing to do is first of all wipe your finger.
Thank you.
And then second of all, you're going to just turn on your heat.
Oh, wait, might want to move this away.
Good idea, because that is very flammable. Now we're going to put the batter into the pan. It has to be very thin, so be careful.
Make sure you get all of it from the spoon ladle.
Perfect. Make sure it covers all the areas. And that looks absolutely perfect. Now we're just going to let this cook, and it's going to turn a yellow around the outside, and it's just sort of going to go in a circular pattern inside. Okay? And here we go. And while this is cooking, I'm just going to show you really quick the final product. So it really just turns out into basically a pancake. Perfect. Okay, the first thing that you need to do is add 1.5 pounds of ricotta. You can absolutely estimate this, it doesn't really matter, and you can add more if you want. So I'm just going to, this container right here is 2 pounds, so lock this in. Yeah. Need help with that? You want help? There you go. Just hold that. Just a little more than half of the container. And that looks good. So about, just show the camera. That's about how much should be left. Okay. Now what we're going to do is have Sam add an egg.
Yes, the next thing we have to do is have this egg, just crack it. Yeah, and then we gotta mix it up.
And now we're going to have to mix that up, and I'm just going to use the same spoon I used to do that. And just mix this up. Now, I know this probably looks like the least appetizing thing in the whole world, but just bear with us for a couple minutes. I'm just going to be mixing this now.
Alright, the next thing we have to do is add this grated Parmesan cheese.
Yeah, you can just dump that in. Yeah.
Just keep mixing it. Alright.
Okay.
Then we have
It's going to almost start to look like whipped cream.
2 sprigs of chopped parsley.
This is going to add a great aromatic flavor
And
quality.
About 3/4 of a block of cubed mozzarella.
This is looking pretty good right here. So that is what it's going to look like at the very end. This you are going to add to the top of, actually, just kidding, to the inside of the pasta sheets.
Finally, after all the preparation, we're ready to fill the monigotti. What you're going to do is take one of the pasta sheets, a nice amount of cheese, about a tablespoon, I'd say, but you're just going to really want to fill it in the palm of your hand. I'll use a little too much. Then you take it, fold both edges down, and you want to put the folded part down in the pan. This will keep it closed during baking. Okay, I'm going to fill the rest of these. Now that all your monigotti are filled, we are going to take that sauce we made in the beginning. It smells good. Take a spoon. Alrighty, so put the spoon in my right hand. You're just gonna spoon the sauce right over your monigotti. That looks delicious. Alright, the last step, after you're done with the sauce, is take these and put them in the oven. You're going to bake them for, I'd say, about 15 to 20 minutes.
Look how good these manicotti look. Now I think we're going to go ahead and plate them. I just usually like to do them in a nice arrangement in somewhat of a circular pattern around the plate.
Yeah, that would look nice.
So I'm going to do a couple of these.
Yeah, sure.
So sort of do it like a sun with its rays going out.
These are a little hard to take out.
Yeah, just be careful with it.
We'll do just one more.
Yeah.
That's a little one.
Perfect.
The last thing we have to do is add the sauce. We're just gonna, what you want to do is just drip it all over the top of this. And if it's got cold, you just want to heat it up. That would be great.